Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Welcome back to the farm. Welcome back to the homestead. Give me a hug. How are you? It's Wednesday. Guys, it is 70-something degrees right now outside. A week ago, we were busting out of like the tundra. And now, well, the vehicle says 79, my phone says 73. We'll split hairs and say like 75, sunny and 75. It is beautiful. It could just stay like this, okay? I would be so happy, wouldn't you? Jeans and t-shirt, throw on the ball cap and go. Give me a fist bump. I love it. Everything on the farm is great. I'm trying to just really relish in this weather because, you know, I'm going to have like 17,000 goat babies in sub-zero temperatures and they're all going to be living in my house come February. Right? So, anyway, by the way, I want to tell you, did I tell you this? I think I did. So, if you see if I film with my goats or whatever and you see like a red spot kind of on the back of any of my does, I've done that. Because what I did is when we had the bust through on the situation with the fence, the gate several weeks ago, remember that? We've had 2 or 3 of those. But when the gate kind of, it's like the hand of God just came and took the chain off and kind of opened the gate. Goats can do some strange stuff, let me tell you. And the goats, all my goaty girls came over and Rip was like, hey, woo, what you doing? You know, he's my buck, my Nubian buck. And, of course, I freaked out and rushed in there. The girls that I was very confident that he might have more than winked at, catch my drift if the kids are around, I tried to that day put a little put a little, put a ring on it. Hey, Rip, you need to put a ring on it. But I put a dot on it so that I could mentally try to keep watch of those particular girls through the weeks to see if there's going to be any changes. That doesn't mean it's the only girls, because if you remember in years past, Rip had a visit one afternoon, just like a very short afternoon, and I ended up 150 days later roughly having 20-something goat kids. Okay, so but I think I've got 6 or 7 girls marked right now, and I went ahead and let Pinto Bean, I know I've got Butterbean and Pinto Bean, y'all. I went ahead and let them go on, not Butterbean, but Pinto Bean's been over hanging out with the new buck, Jolly, or Charlie, so we've got everybody kind of monitored right now, so anytime from early February into April, it's going to be very busy around here. At least we think it's a high potential for that. So somebody asked me today, they're like, you're drinking that milk that you buy at the store. I am not milking right now because my girls have been dry and I've given them a break. And guess what? There's no babies, there's no milk right now. So, but that may soon be changing. We'll see. As long as the babies are healthy, it's going to be what it's going to be, right? So that's coming. So we're getting prepared for that. I keep telling James, I'm like, don't put this off until January. I said, because when it starts, all kinds of chores. But listen, are you doing okay? I know things are nuts. And you know what? Let it be nuts. So we're going to talk about something else today, and I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. So yesterday I did a ton of house cleaning. I made myself house clean like crazy, and I'm really, because there's things that I just never did when we moved here. It was so chaotic, you know, from your life too, from like 2020 to 2025. It's just like this world of chaos, and I'm really making my home how I want it. So I'm really enjoying that process. Part of the transformation, right? And I was really tired last night, and by the time I cleaned and did all the barn chores twice yesterday, and James came home late because he went and got feed, and we brought it home. We had 20 something bags of feed to unload and pine shavings and stuff because we're continuing to stay stocked up for winter. And then I had to cook supper. Well, by the time we did all that, I was like, do we really, that thing crept up, right? About you can take the day off. You do not need to go to the gym. And I said something to James, and he was like, we're going to do what you want to do. He said, but I think we're going to feel a lot better if we go, even if we just go for 30 minutes and we get back and shower and just chill and go to bed. I said, okay. So we went. It was a great workout. And we did about 6 really good exercises, because it was dark and I don't like being out that late. And I woke up this morning, and 2 things I want to tell you, and I hope that this resonates with you. A picture showed up in my memories of just 2 years ago. I was milking my baby goats. I was milking my mama goats, because we had baby goats, and I was making cheese. So for you folks out there, they're like, do you drink your raw milk? Do you make cheese? Do you make yogurt? Oh yeah. So there's a picture in my memory all about it. Big old hunk of goat cheese, right? And my face, folks, I know I keep mentioning this, but every time I see it, it slaps me so hard. And so I've just been really in the process this morning of going, I'm so glad James, he was my cheerleader yesterday. We're cheering each other on. And I think it's important to talk about this, because you and I need to cheer each other on, because you're in the biggest battle of your life, and some of you don't know it. Hug me. Come here. I love you. I'm telling you this. You're in the biggest battle for your life and your health right now, and you probably don't even know it. It is so much worse than you'll ever guess. And when you start transforming and learning and studying more, no matter what your health situation is, you are going to be touched so hardcore spiritually and emotionally about this. I don't even know I keep trying to tell everybody. But so I did. When I got up this morning, and I picked up my phone, and all I did was go to my memories. And guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, it made me emotional. And let me tell you why. It's almost like you go, why didn't somebody tell me? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like you just go, why didn't somebody tell me? And on top of that, this week, I told my husband, because he hadn't thought about it. Here's what's so interesting. So not yesterday, the day before, James and I did we go somewhere, or where were we? We were in the car. Oh, we were going to work out. And we were at a red light, and he said, I got to show you something real quick. And I said, because if you don't say or show or do the moment you think of it, is when you know how I'm talking, you'll lose it, right? You're like, I was going to tell you something. He pulled up his phone, and he had on an orange shirt in the picture, and he was huge. Okay. If you've watched our channel for a long time, you know that my husband's health struggles, what happened to him, the ups and downs with congestive heart failure and diabetes and weight. It's been like this, and a lot of wins, and then there's this. It's just the whole deal. And he pulled up this picture. It had popped up on his phone, in his phone memory, and it was him in an orange shirt, a regular t-shirt, and of course it was orange. And he was like, can you believe that? And I said, no. I said, do you want to know why? He said, why? I said, because look what came up in my Facebook memories today. No joke. I took a picture of him sitting at the table playing a board game. I think they were playing chess with Gabriel. And he was wearing a different orange shirt. It was like a polo shirt, collared shirt. And I said, I took a picture of this, and I said, I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see what you look like. And we talked to each other about this, so it's meant in love, right? And he was like, and I said, so this is unbelievable that on the same day, you and I got 2 different memories. Yours was on your phone from your phone, Apple phone memory deal. Mine was from my Facebook. It's not ironic you're wearing orange, but we both were shocked at what you looked like. And we both took screenshots of it. This is just day before yesterday or 2 days ago prior. True story. And I said, James, I've been thinking about this, and I said, I want you to know that you have lost 81 pounds since that time frame. If we go back to that time frame when you got really sick, and within that year of you being really sick with congestive heart failure, falling into massive diabetes to the point where you had, I mean, they basically said, you know, his A1C was 13. And since that time, overall, James has lost 81 pounds. He has lost, in the ballpark, right at 40 pounds, almost 40 pounds since July. He is a totally different man. And I asked him, I said, are you going to make that video that you told everybody? He said, well, I haven't hit my goal yet. You know, when he gets it in his mind, I'm like, I get it. I'm not pressuring you. But he's getting really close to his initial goal of when he would talk about more specific his journey right now. And that's going to be a doozy right there. But not far after that, if he continues to lose weight, which is the goal, lose fat, gain muscle, gain health. That's what the goal is. I told him, I said, James, you're starting to get into the realm of literally losing, since your health crisis, 100 pounds. I want you to think about that. 100 pounds. He had not mentally registered with that. I had thought about it in the past couple of days, because when we went to see his doctor, he went to his endocrinologist, and they were talking about it. He said, the endocrinologist was like, what, let's talk about what, he was like, I can't believe how much you're changing. He said, he was like, how much did you weigh? Because James maxed out on his weight before he went to an endocrinologist, right? And James said X, and I said, that's not correct. And James looked at me. I said, you weighed this. He had displaced some of this out of his mind. I think that's how a lot of people deal with things. And I just want to say to you folks that when I share what we're talking about, and I make my posts on Facebook or here, I have such a wonderful, James and I both have such an overwhelming response from you all right now. And I love you so much for that. I mean, some people will say nasty things to me, and it's this, you know, like I'm too thin or whatever. Or, you know, why are you drinking store-bought milk when you should be milking your goat? Well, first of all, let's go back. I'm not too thin. I can still lose more weight if I do, and be in perfect range according to my doctor, and for my body type. And then on top of that, I'm going to do whatever it takes to, in this season of my life, to cheer him, me, and you on. Okay? Whatever it takes. We all have one stinking life. Nobody's coming to save you. And I want our testimony. I mean, I'm not going to be as impactful as James, because when you see what he was to where he's headed, you're going to be like, I can't believe it. Now, James ain't going to get, I always joke about James in the leopard Speedo. You know, we've had past jokes about stuff like that, but I mean, that'd be a tough sell. I don't know if you'd do that, but but I show you things and want to talk about things because I want you to know that you were made perfect in the image of God, and that you have been so lied to, and we are not living in the world of our great-great-grandparents. We're not eating the same foods that they did, because everything has been purposefully tainted and poisoned. And I want you to wrap your brain around that. I don't want you to play victim with yourself. I want you to pick yourself up and know very simple changes with your choice of discipline is going to put you somewhere you never dreamed you'd be. It doesn't matter if you're 25, 48, 49, 55, or 75. I see this every day with people. You can reverse so much damage in your body. No, you're not going to be eating ho-ho cakes. You're not going to be eating Christmas cakes from Little Debbie. No, you're not. You're not. And you have to choose, that. And there's a lot of things that I see in the, quote, Appalachian cuisines that, guys, we're being poisoned to death. And I've said this over and over, but I come from an emotional standpoint more so than I think James does, because I think I have been able to, with lifting heavy weights according to my body style, frame, size, and ability at each level, it's like I have just moderated out my hormones. I'm not having any problems. None. I'm calmer. I'm happier. I'm eating like a Marine at Paris Island. It is a godly transformation that I think you are seeking. But when you take a person who was going down the road of true death, and that person finally, after years of battle back and forth and different things, by his choosing, I beat myself up sometimes because I go, did I enable him? Well, of course I did. But see, a lot of people fall into enabling somebody once they convince themselves, I can't change that person. They have to change themselves first. There's a lot of truth to that. So I have to step myself back and go, yes, maybe you did, because you even if you address things, you realize people are going to do what they're going to do. They have to want to change themselves. You have to want to do it. And it is the most beautiful thing you'll ever do for yourself and for your family. And when I say your family tree, I mean that. So I've been listening to some things, and I posted this today about 60% of the American diet, 60% of the American diet is ultra-processed foods. Now, again, before I continue, let me say we're not trying to be perfect here. We're just trying to be better, a whole lot better. And when you start getting better, you're going to be like, I want some more of this, baby. But 67% of the American child's diet is 67% ultra processed. And people don't know why they're sick. Yeah, you do. I had a lady today was trying to argue with me, and you may argue too. I made a post about being big, this whole thing about the lies that have been told to us, the lies that we tell ourselves, the lies that we tell each other. It's all coming from the enemy. And I had posted about the quote, big boned, end quote. You know as well as I do, when somebody says she's just big boned, you mean she's fat. That's what that means. But some people want to take that and go, well, I'm German and I'm 5'11", and no one's talking about your skeletal frame size. I just said your skeleton. Your skeletal frame may be 5 inches taller than me, or maybe half a centimeter wider, or whatever. But when you peel off the inflammation, the unhealthy fat, visceral fat, and all of the sickness in your body as much as possible, you ain't big boned, really, are you? No. That's hard. That's hard. That's really hard. So wherever you are right now, here's what I want to throw this out real quick in the last minute or two. It is literally 6 weeks until 2026. I know the world's on fire. So do you. Whether you cry about it today, throw a fit about it, does that change it? No. You have control over your own self. And in order for you to be able to emotionally, spiritually, and physically handle the crazy town, you got to come out of your own crazy town. And I believe in you. So we're going to be sharing more stuff, because if you're looking for a poster child of, I wonder if that works, I'm telling you, what we're doing works. It may be different for you, there may be limitations on things or preferences you have or whatever. I don't deny any of that. But I'm telling you, dropping the ultra processed foods as much as possible. It's not perfect. Going towards healthy whole foods. We are not full carnivore. We are high protein with lots of fresh vegetables and certain fruits. We do have certain complex carbs. Yeah, I'm going to have a sweet treat every now and then. I love those little JoJo's. And everybody's like, what's a JoJo? Somebody told me it was some type of potato something out west. I was like, I've never heard of that. I have an Aunt JoJo and the JoJo, the little chocolate piece, dark chocolate. I don't know anything else. So I posted that in my little post today. Folks, I know the holidays are here. Don't allow any stress right now. Don't do it. You're just gonna inflame and throw your hormones off even worse. Do what you can and set it down. Your survival and your handle on stress and your mental attitude right now and your walk with Jesus is so much more important than anything else, okay? I'm not saying to not celebrate the holidays. I'm saying don't get wrapped around the axle. Next Thursday's Thanksgiving. Make some good choices. I'm going to have some dressing. Yeah, I am. I'm going to have a couple bites of a sinful pie. I might, yeah. But I'm not going to make a big deal about it. It's the overall transformation and change. How does it go that somebody like my husband, who was being written off in a sense and being given a literal lifespan, you're going to live this, you might have a lifespan of another 15 years if you're lucky. That's what they told him. That was back in 2016. Are you going to accept that? Are you happy with that? Are you okay with that? It's not okay. You're bigger and better than that, and you are worth everything this planet can offer. Every human life, including you, is so valuable. So if you want to see more about what we're doing, I'm trying to figure out more ways to do that. I'm not going to start another YouTube channel that is juggling too much for me at this time. I have considered, I considered this a couple years ago, but I was still homeschooling my boys and COVID hit. Thought about doing a podcast. I don't know how that would work out. I've been asked to before, and it's a time factor. But you can win. I want you to win. We're all cheering each other on right now. We want to get our lives back so we can handle whatever comes before us. And yes, you can make changes no matter what age you are, whatever your limitations are, including finances. Yeah, you can. And if you need help, then start telling me, and the good folks in this comment section, let's help each other out. I'm watching this transformation, not only with myself, big deal, right? You know, but with someone who has had desperate health problems. Folks, it's a serious and for real comeback. And it's not on Ozempic. It's not on any pills. It's all him. And our diet, it's not a diet, but the foods we choose to eat and choosing to be active and the choices of what we are not allowing the devil to bring into our lives. It's no alcohol. We don't, James doesn't drink. James is 55 years old and has tasted alcohol 3 times his whole life. Doesn't smoke. So there's a lot of things that you have to consider. Well, like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I hope you find this motivational, and I hope it explains some of the reasons why my farm is floating along. We're getting ready for winter. Taking care of everybody. Really starting to press forward into the new year. Starting to think about all these new goat babies and starting to plan for the next phase of things to come into our life on our farm in the spring. And, it's just getting ourselves in line with what we know God is calling us to do. And you know what? He's calling you too. Ring, ring. It's time to pick up. Let's get on fire and go. 6 weeks to the new year. Why don't we start today? Don't wait until January 2nd to start your new transformation. 6 weeks is an eternity for a lot of people. And so much change and so much breakthrough can happen in 6 weeks. I promise you that. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. Give me a big old hug, you. I love you. Tell me what you think about a podcast. Thinking about it. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to start a podcast on February 16th, and then I have 9 babies drop out here in the field. I'll be like, I wasn't trying to lie to you. I love you, and I'll see you guys on the next video.